Bonjour peeps. Hi, this is Neshi. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page where I do a daily live stream based on the card draws that I do in the morning. And so today is Thursday, October 11th. And George and I were pretty busy this morning. And Mom too, it's Thursdays is a shower day and George had his first puppy experience with a groomer, and it was kind of a full morning. And of all things, I fell asleep. I took care of Mom, and everything was done with her, and George was sleeping, and I sat down in the recliner, and I was out. Next thing I know, it's 9 o'clock. That's an hour and 20 minutes later. Too funny. I guess I must have needed the extra Z's. So welcome to the live stream, and welcome everybody. Rochelle's here. Hey, Stephanie's here. Stephanie, so glad to see your name and you in the chat room. Yeah, and Nellie. Mervyn Kelly is with us too. Mervyn is one of our live stream hosts here at Star Nations. He's also a contributing writer to the magazine, featured writer actually, and he hosts the show From Star to Stone. And let me tell you, this last Tuesdays was something else. We really enjoyed seeing all his new crystals that he got while he was on holiday. And he shared some of those with us and all the stories that go with them. It was pretty good. I liked it a lot. And let's see who else is here. Anne Marie Retz. Anne! Good to see you too. Cyber hug. Anne and I go way back. Actually, she and Paul were friends first, and then I got introduced. Yeah, good to see you, Anne. And Stephanie says needing the extra sleep seems to be going around. I know. Well, I just came off from a very, very busy weekend. We had a class here with Polyjola Bay. Do you see George? Yeah. Polyjola Bay, and I'm going to call it an intensive healing weekend because that's exactly what it was. And when I'm hosting, there's stuff that has to be done prior to the teacher showing up and before the students show up and all that. And we were in the middle of publishing the October issue of Star Nations magazine, right? So it's really, really busy. Burning the midnight oil, they say. It's an old saying, isn't it? To get the magazine published yesterday. Our publishing date is the 10th of every month. And I set the date. So it's not like I can't change the date. But there's something about those people who subscribe to the magazine and they get the single issues and that sort of thing. I like to be consistent with it so that they know, that, oh yeah, today's the 10th, Star Nations magazine's coming out, that kind of thing. So anyway, we did it. Have to say a huge thank you to our layout specialists at Elm Publishing. They happen to be my sister-in-law and my niece, but they went the extra mile and a half to get the magazine published last night. I think we published, it must have been, I don't know, 9 o'clock maybe in the evening, something like that. So yeah, and then it takes me about an hour and a half or so to promote the magazine, to get it all out to all the social media, and to write the email to all the contributing writers and posting it everywhere that I can post it, that kind of stuff, So it takes a little bit of effort, but it's all good. I think you're going to like it. Wait till you see the cover. I was really kind of torn between really, really kind of Halloween cover, and one of the topics was pet dog, and trying not to get George on the cover. His time will come when he gets a little bit older, right? So anyway, I hope you like the cover. It's a Halloween cover. So I don't know what the weather's like by you, but here in a little bit of lunch, here in northwestern Wisconsin, it is blustery cold. I think the wind chill is like, I want to say 27 degrees. I think we might be at maybe, I don't even remember. It was like 30 something. I could be wrong. It's 36 right now and 26 with the wind. We're supposed to have a high of 39 today. And when I was with George at the groomers, I looked out the window and it was sleeting. Yeah. So I think we're in that shift, that changeover. Here's a little bit of something. The fall equinox falls somewhere along the September 21st to the 23rd, right? That is the astrological, if I want to say that. I don't know if that's the right term for it. When the stars, the moon, the sun, the planets say it's fall, right? Sometimes Grandmother Earth doesn't say it's fall quite yet. So this past week definitely was fall. We had beautiful color. Evenings was very, very cool. It was cold in the 30s. But during the daytime, we'd be hitting 50, sometimes 60, low 60s, right? And it was definitely fall. Today, I can tell you, there's that little bit in the wind that you can feel it, you can smell it, and that's winter. You can feel it. I was just outside with George, and I was telling him it feels like winter's coming. You can feel it in the air. Do you guys notice that too? Do you notice that? Especially when it's just before it rains too. Hey, Jackie. Jackie just joined us. Okay, Rochelle. She says, got to catch the archive. Sorry. Bye. Bye. Something must have come up. Rochelle does that. She pops in just to say hi, and then she goes and does something else and catches the archives. That's okay. Have a good afternoon, Rochelle. So this morning, after I woke up and pulled the cards, we got 3 cards today. So I'm going to try to fit them in our usual time, okay? The first card we've had before, actually 2 of them we've had before. And let's see, I should probably let everybody know. The card deck that we're using now, we've been using since the end of September, it's a brand new deck. It's called Angels and Ancestors Oracle Cards by Kyle Gray. They were published this year in 2018 and released in September. So I had to pre-order them. I had been looking for a new deck that had more of a Native American feel to them. There's not that many good ones out there, let me tell you. And or more of a Celtic or pagan kind of feel to it. And when I saw Kyle's cards on Amazon.com, they just kind of jumped off the screen at me. And I'm so glad I pre-ordered them because I really like these cards. And the artwork is gorgeous too. So the very first card that came, we've had this guy before, Spirit Fox. It says, trust your talents in changing times. Trust your challenge in changing times. Isn't that a gorgeous fox? I love the feathers hanging off from his cowl. And yeah, he's quite the guy. Speaking, yep, George fell asleep. We saw a fox. I shouldn't say we. 2 people saw a fox here at our place at Star Nations Academy this past weekend. I think it was maybe Saturday afternoon. We were taking a break and we were out on the deck. Well, actually 2 people went out on the deck and they saw a fox heading away from them down one of the trails. And we do have fox here. I mean, we've seen them. We've had red, and we also have gray fox too. But who they saw was a red fox. And so it was definitely for them because by the time the rest of us came out on the deck, he was gone. So it was definitely for those 2 people. But I want you to take a look at this card again. I'm going to hold it up a little bit closer. Do you see right in the middle of his forehead, right at his 3rd eye or ajna, is some light language? It's a symbol. And then there's also a symbol right in the middle of his chest, too. Well, and I believe, and if you look very closely, there's also a symbol on his tail. It's very interesting. You know, fox are known to be shapeshifters, right? And sometimes they don't have a very good reputation, depending on what part of the country you live in, or if you live in the country. You know, fox, they're they have a lot of sayings about fox, right? Crazy like a fox, sly as a fox. It's like having the fox in the hen house. I'm trying to think of another one. But anyway, fox. You know, fox have been probably hunted quite a bit, both here in the United States and in England, in the UK, because Kyle does mention it in the writing about the card. And they're hunted for their fur, you know. They're not an animal, a four-legged, that's usually hunted because of their food. They're hunted for their pelt. And I suppose, you know, I know that in the old days, the body would have been given to the dogs, you know, for food. So at least, you know, their flesh was used, you know, in that way. They weren't just left out there just because somebody wanted their fur. You can see how I feel about this, right? But there's something about the fox medicine, because they've had to adapt and learn how to survive while being hunted. Okay. And so, you know, they're very quiet, very quiet. And they don't hibernate year round. When it gets warm enough out in the winter, you'll see them hunting. And, you know, and their main diet. Hey, Cindy Lynn. Hello. And Jackie's here too. Hello, ladies. And fox can go unseen. If they don't want to be seen, you're not going to see them. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're known as shapeshifters, is because their energy, they can draw it in so much that they go unseen, right? Fox. They got cute babies too. So let's see what Kyle says about fox. And, you know, it says, trust your talents in changing times. And so I think that speaks to their adaptability. They live in all kinds of environments, you know, from the Arctic to the warmer regions. They live out in the country, out in the wilds, but they also live right on the edge of town. And so they're survivors, right? They're survivors. And fox, where are you, fox? Fox, spirit fox. Page 74. All right, so here's the message. Stay alert as change is in the air. Isn't it kind of funny? I even mentioned that as we're opening, because you can feel the change in the weather. You can feel it today. It's changing from fall to winter. You can feel it in the air, feeling the change. Kyle does say that foxes know what it's like to be hunted. For centuries, they've been sought for their precious fur when all they want to do is survive. So the spirit fox can help you overcome the energies of adversity and unfair treatment. Also, urban foxes hide in cities and go about their business in the darker hours. Fox offers the medicine of blending in. Blending in. You know, they pull their energy in so close that you don't notice them. You don't notice them. And here, I know that when we're watching a fox, what happens is that when they get to the tree line or to the bush line, actually, and as soon as they step into the bush line, it's like, where'd they go? It's like they disappeared. Magic, right? It's magic. Yeah, and I was talking to somebody on the phone once, standing in my four-season porch. So it's all glass, right? And there was I think it was a gray fox that time, was coming from the east, onto the property. I could see him. It's not that big of a property, so I could see him coming through the woods. And he got up to, we have the backyard kind of fenced in. It was for our older dog at the time. And he's kind of skirting the fence line, and he comes to the gate to the back area, right? And he slips between and underneath the gate. I didn't think he was going to fit, but he did. He didn't see me, or at least he didn't care then if he did see me. He walked through the garden a little bit. It's a small garden there, and the retaining wall, and he stood with his front paws on the retaining wall looking around. I'm standing maybe 10 feet from him. There's a glass window between us. And he jumps down onto the walk, and he continues going west, and he walks around the house, so I couldn't see him. But that was probably the closest I've ever been to a fox in the wild, and it was the oddest thing, because it's like he didn't see me, or he didn't care if he saw me. So I kind of had to spend some time with fox energy that day and the next. Kyle goes on to say that the energies around you are changing at this time. And although it may not always be comfortable, you are equipped with all that you need to survive the shift. You're being presented with opportunities to reach spaces you've never encountered before. And this can make you feel on edge. But be open to the shift occurring, because they really are the answers to your prayers. So the people who are in the chat, how many of you feel like you're in the midst of a change, the shifting? You could, whether you know that it's happening because you're right in the middle of it, or you're at the very beginnings of it and you can feel it. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you know there's change happening. Something's not the same. Especially after this weekend. I would say that I knew that there was change afoot, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then building up to the class, and then going through the class, and watching, bearing witness to those people who are in the class, and going through some really intensive healing, getting to the root of an issue. And yeah. And so, now being in the change, in the midst of that shift, and also starting the integration, right? And sometimes the integration, that's probably why one of the reasons why I fell asleep this morning. Stephanie saying fox seems almost like an energy for medicine women and healers. That is, I have to agree with Stephanie, definitely. And Mervyn is saying totally. And Stephanie says definitely happening, the change. And Retzloff's going, oh, yay. Yes, that's a yes, I take it. All good, just stressful right now, trying to strategize the plan. Yeah. Now you do need, when there is change, you want to be in the flow. I've learned the hard way that when you resist, when you dig your heels in, you say, no, I'm not doing that. We make it harder on ourselves, 100 times harder, not 10 times, 100 times harder. So when you can feel that shift coming, or you're in the midst of it, it really is to go with the flow, and to be as flexible and adjusting all the time. But although, Anne, it is good, I know that it's good to set an intention and to have kind of like the, I don't know what to call it. It is a strategy, is to have some boundaries in there, some intentions that are, that you'll do this or you'll do that, or this is what I want to achieve with this change. But know that you have to have some flexibility too. Yeah. Because when we get rigid with it, and we can actually be our own interference in the change that's up front. So, with the fox, it says, trust your talents. Trust your talents. And it's also saying that everything that we need to survive this shift, we already possess. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why the fox has all those symbols on his body, right? And notice the one that we can see very clearly is the one on his chest at his heart. I do believe, and of course I believe it, is that when we follow our heart, when we listen to our guidance, we're on the right path. It's when we start going like this, I don't want to see it, I don't want to hear it, that we tend to have more issues, more challenges with it, right? All right, now here, keep this in mind about the fox, because here comes the Druid. Hold the space. I love this card. Hold the space. Do you see his tattoo on his arm? Looks like a snake, doesn't it? And he's got ivy leaves and probably an oak behind him. Kind of reminds me of Gandalf in a way. I think it's because of the white beard, the white hair. And his staff that has the crystal on top of it. And the color of his clothes. Do you see the blue that he's wearing under there? Blue is about, in color therapy anyway, is about communication and information. Yeah. Usually sitting at the throat chakra, color blue. And it's saying, and I should also mention, we just returned from a fishing trip in Canada where this cute little male fox visited our site the entire week we were there. The kids named him Gilbert. Well, you had fox medicine already going on. Yeah. All week. And then you come to the live stream and you get fox medicine again. Very interesting. All right, so let's read a little bit about Druid. Now keep the fox information in front of you, and we'll read about the Druid. It's about holding space. The message: hold things together. Don't make any sudden moves or changes. Stand strong, knowing you are where you're supposed to be. Okay, so we just said we should be flexible, right? And go with the flow. I think that when we've made our intention, we already know something's changing. We already know it. And according to the other card, is that we've actually asked for this change. We've already actually asked for it. And so the universe is bringing us the change that we requested in the best way for us. Because remember, we still have the soul contract that we're working on and working toward completion, right? So the Druid is saying, hold a space, hold your position, knowing that where you're at is the right place to be. Right place, right time. Right place, right time. I used to say that to myself when I lived in Poynette and I was commuting to my job in Madison. And so, I was always stuck in traffic. And so me and being impatient and wanting to get where I want to go, that was my mantra: right place, right time. There must be a reason why I have to sit here in this traffic. So and so right place, right time. Kyle goes on to say that the Druids were the ancient wise ones of the British Isles. Okay, now there are many, many members in Star Nations who have European descent. Okay, lots. And so when we turn our attention to our lineage, to our ancestors, to what they gave to us through their DNA, literally in our blood and bones, we can always turn to them and ask them when we're in the midst of that change and we're not feeling comfortable with it because it's change, right? Is that we can turn to our ancestors and ask for help and guidance. Help me to see this from my heart. I want to do this in a good way. And so please show me or tell me, right? So it's good to be able to turn to our ancestors no matter where they are. You look at me and I do have ancestors here on Turtle Island, obviously. But I also have French Canadian. It's not a very large quantity in me, but it's still there. It's still there. I used to joke around. Because, they say, which is a myth, is that Native Americans have a hard time metabolizing alcohol, right? I just don't think we should be mixing our spirits. There's a time and a place to have a cocktail with friends. And it's not just before you do a ceremony or during a ceremony. That's not a good time. I used to joke around about calling on my inner French Canadian blood to help me metabolize it, right? But it is true. We can call on our ancestors to assist us. And especially those of us that have that Celtic qualities. And we're talking about a Druid here. And so we're talking about those ancestors that many, many of you have in your blood and your bones. Is that when he's saying to hold, stand strong, knowing you are where you're supposed to be. That the Druids had a very deep, they're putting it in the past tense here, that they have a very deep connection to Mother Earth, to Earth, and to the sun and the moon, the stars. Now, Mervin's in the chat. Mervin, do you feel like you're part of, like you're in history, that you're, because you do, you follow the path of the Druids? Do you feel like you're in the past or in the present? Druids are not in the past. It's like when they talk about Native Americans and they talk about us in history. It's like, we're not even here. talking about somebody when they're present, right? In the third person. It's kind of like, that's what it feels like. Druids are not in the past. They have ancient wisdom that comes down through the lineages and down through the ages, through stories and that sort of thing. But they're very much present, I think, anyway. Ashley, hey, Ashley's with us too. Hi, I would love. You know what, Ashley? I don't do individual card draws. This is about the energy of the day. Okay. But we do have shows here at Star Nations Radio Network, the live stream shows that do card draws for individual readings, mini readings. We have two ladies who do it quite often. One of them is Julie Hedges. Julie Hedges, and her show is the Tarot Journey. And she does tarot card draws. I think she just did one on Monday. It was kind of on the fly. So you want to go to Tarot Journey, to her fan page, and like it and follow, because you'll get the notifications when she does that. Sometimes she just, Spirit says, do a card draw for people, the first 10 people. And so she does that. But it's also a part of her show, which is on the third Monday of every month at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. And many times what she does is she does the last 15, 20 minutes of her show will be a card draw for individuals. We also have Polly Jola Bay. She has 2 shows. The show that she does card draws for individuals is on Wednesday nights, every week, Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a healing meditation first, and then there's the card draw. And so you can go to her fan page, which is called Chakra Sessions, and you can check it out, and you can like it if you like, and do the notifications. Get the notifications. Does that drop down box? Click see first, because otherwise it's set to default. See first, and then you get the notifications when the show comes up. Okay. So I'm so glad you're here, though, Ashley, to join us. I appreciate it, and hope to see you in the other chats, because I'm usually in the chat rooms for their shows. And Nellie says, so this is me and Fox, who I think is my oldest spirit guide. I think this is personal. Just a little bit, don't you think? Don't you think? So, Fox is saying, trust your talents in changing times. Be adaptable. Survive. You can survive the shift. You got exactly what you need to do it. You got all your tools. You have everything you need to survive it. And then you have the Druid that comes up and says, hold the space. Hold the space. So using your tools, using your experience, you're going through a change. And so you have everything you need to be able to go through the change in a good way. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be drama-filled. It can be done with grace. Now, I'm not saying that it can be uncomfortable, because you're going to stretch. You're going to have growing pains. But you have everything that you need to be able to work your way through it. And you have your full complement of spiritual guides, your spiritual team, all your guides, all your power animals, all your totems, all your angels, all your teachers. You're not going through it alone, even though you might feel like it, like nobody understands. There's a lot of us that have gone through some major, major changes, and we can empathize with you. But your spiritual team, they can help you to understand it better with more clarity. They can help you make decisions. What's my next best step? And the Druid is saying to stand in that, to hold on to your experience, to your own wisdom as you're going through it. Hey, Rob's with us too. Good afternoon, Rob. and Mervin's going, both. Both are good, yes. And so, but Mervin, if you could answer that question I had for you about Druids, because Kyle is saying that the Druids were the ancient wise ones of the British Isles. Now, that is the truth. But he's writing about them like they're only in the past, when there's many in the present, I think. But I'm not one of them. So I'm asking a Druid, how do you feel about being put in the past? Kyle also goes on to say, when the Druid card appears in a reading, you're being guided to dig deep within and hold your station. If you're wondering what to do next or have a sense of anxiety about what is unfolding in your life, it's time to shift your perceptions and move back into the state of trust. So when we start thinking, I don't know about this, Did I make the right decision? What's really going on here? I don't know if I can deal with this. I don't want this to happen. All of that, all of that. That's when we start second guessing ourselves and not trusting our intuition, not trusting ourselves. And so what the Druid card is saying is that when you feel like that, is to flip that around and change your perception to one of trust. And so how do you do that? You turn to your guides, you turn to your spiritual team. And because they can help you to see it with, or at least feel it with more assurance, right? He says, think of a tree. It has strong roots, yet continues to grow and bear fruit. Your life will be a reflection of this. So as you're going through this change, the fox medicine is about survival, about adaptability. It has the ability to shapeshift. And so with that adaptability, you can get through the change and also learn what you needed to learn from it, to add to your wisdom, so that when you have a friend or family member who begins to go through one of their own times of change, that you have not just empathy for them, but you can actually sympathize with them and also give them some references, some resources, some gentle reminders, just like I'm doing right now. Gentle reminders that you have a spiritual team, that you have your tools. Some of those tools are crystals. Some of those tools are essential oils. Some of those tools are ceremony, meditation. You already have everything you need. You just have to remember to use it. Okay, Nellie was clarifying. Both was my answer. Okay, so you see both the historical, in the historical sense, the Druid wisdom, right? But it's also present in present day. And so just like everybody else, many people who are drawn to the wisdom of Druidry, probably was a Druid in a past life or in a parallel life. And so to be able to draw on that in the present and add to it. So thank you, Nellie, for doing that and bringing it to Star Nations. And so that we can have those really cool conversations about crystals. And so you can remind us of the stories that came down through the ages with the Druids, right? Yeah. Anne is saying, yes, we're still here and very alive. That's true. That's very, very true. All right. So that was the Druid. Like his staff too. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? I think I'm going to be sitting down and mapping out the classes for 2019 for Star Nations Academy. And I think one of the classes we should do staffs. Don't you think? I got a whole bunch of crystals and I got a whole bunch of stuff to decorate staffs with. I even actually have what do they call that thing that does the burning? To do the symbols and stuff, we can etch them into the wood. And I have woods. And I have a lot of tree limbs. And so, I think that could be one of the classes, don't you think? I'd be having Druids coming out of the woodwork for that class. Pun intended. Out of the oak grove. Okay, Mervyn saying, I know and feel the knowledge and wisdom and magic of the Druids that are our ancestors, and I know the same of the Druids that are upon the earth now. I also sense all of that reaching into the future to inspire the Druids that are yet to come. We were, we are, and we will be. I love that. Okay, Marvin, what you need to do for me, please, is to copy that, what you just wrote, because, as you guys say, spot on, and actually put that comment on your fan page at From Star to Stone. Okay? Because I think that is some really good information for the people who follow you. I love it. We have an insight. All right, so this could be the reason why we had to draw the cards in the way that we did today. The energy that's most important for us to know about today, I think, is sitting right here in how Nellie phrased it and shared about Druids, both past, present, and future. Now, let me add this. There's those of us who believe that time is spherical, round, not linear. And so that everything is happening right now. Because we have a two-legged mental mind, in order to understand some things and really kind of wrap our mind around it, right? We get into the linear stuff. But when you see time as a sphere, that means that we have parallel lives, not past and present and future, but parallel. That everything is happening right now. Right now. Think about that. Let it steep into a good brew. Michael, good afternoon, Michael. Hi, Stephanie. A card about me selling my home and restaurant. I'm not sure about that. Okay. Because I'm not doing individual card draws. I'm just kind of feeling your home and your restaurant. So you're going through a major change, because that's what we're talking about. The cards are telling us today is that Fox is saying that we're going through a shift, a change. And at the very beginning of the live stream, I was asking those in the chat if they felt like they're starting to change, in the middle of a change, that something, and especially at the very beginning, you don't know what it is, but it certainly feels like something's not the same. Something's changing, right? And so the cards that we're drawing today, you certainly can draw some information from Michael. Fox is saying be adaptable, be flexible. The Druid is saying you got everything you need right now to survive the change. Everything. So what of your tools are you using to help sell your restaurant and your home? And what tools, spiritual tools I'm talking about, are you not using to sell your home and your restaurant? Because you have everything that you need right now. And we're going to get to the next card. So maybe there's something else in there that is, you're going to hear it and you're going to think, oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, so hold on. Hi, Maya. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you, Stephanie. She's explaining to Michael what the live stream is about. And that we do have individual card readers, but not this particular live stream. Yep. And, oh, good. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you sharing it to a group, because I forgot to ask people to share. And I forgot to share it. Whoops. I must still be asleep. Actually, it's kind of been in Potawatomi, there's a word that's called shoshkiwen. And that is kind of like a mix. You got kind of rainy, snowy, and it's slippery, that's kind of like my day is. My morning wasn't like it usually is, because I fell asleep and I missed sending out the reminder for the live stream this afternoon. And by the time I woke up, I had to get everything ready for me to leave for George's appointment. When I came home, I had enough time to make mom lunch, and then we're heading into the live stream. So it's kind of like one of those days, right? So I forgot to ask to like and share. Thank you for doing that, Stephanie. I do appreciate it. I really do. And so if you can still share it, of course, if you'd like, and still like it if you like. And Mary is saying, will I have my dream house soon? Well, you know, I'm just kind of asking my team, is this a question I should be answering right now? Because I have to ask permission, right? Because this is not what this live stream is about. And I don't want to trespass. That would be bad medicine. So I'm asking my team, is it appropriate? Isn't the highest good that I answer Maya's question about her dream home? Okay, well, I know that you're talking about a physical structure being your home, correct? And what I heard was your heart is your dream home. So when you set your intention of what kind of home you want, a physical structure that you want to live in, it's always your dream home. More so when your intention is to live your life from your heart. And I know that's not the answer that you were looking for, Maya, but that's the one that they're giving me. So okay, so, and this is probably something you've already heard before, okay, is that when we really, really want something, we're trying to manifest something in our physical life, is that we have to be clear on our intention. Because otherwise we're telling spirit or the universe, come here, go, or go away, go away. We really, really want it, but we want it this way or that way. And so we're sending mixed messages. So if you really want your dream home to come, your physical dream home to come into your life, is to have a very clear intention of where and what you want. Yeah, be a good communicator is what they're saying. So I hope that's helpful, Mary, Maya. But yeah, this live stream isn't exactly what that's about. Stephanie did share about the individual readers that we have here at Star Nations. Julie Hedges probably is the best one that could answer questions like that. She does Tarot Journey. And to get more specific in a personal reading, mini reading in a way. Yeah, yeah. Polly Jo would be too, but she is really more about deep healing. Yeah. Chakras. All right. And Stephanie is saying, winter here looks like it's going to be a thunder snow season. Wow. Now, thunder snow. I like thunder snow. Why? Because it blends two things that I have. My clan is thunder, and I was born in December. And so I just have a fascination with thunder snow. Now, there's an old saying, an old belief, and my mom says this all the time when it's winter and we get thunder snow, and she says, watch for change. The Creator is telling us that there's big change coming, big change when we have thunder snow. Mm-hmm. Hi, Katie. Welcome to the live stream. Here. Now, how about our last card? I've got not quite 10 minutes. Okay, so we got 3 cards today. I usually do 1. Here we go. Mother Earth was the last card. I was I had was going to start putting the cards into the box, and this is the card that literally fell out. And so obviously we're supposed to cover this one too. Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted is the message. Isn't this such a beautiful picture? I love it. She looks very, I don't know, she looks very Hawaiian to me. And she has so many symbols. You know, she has the triquetra, she has very Celtic symbols going on, and pagan. The one on her shoulder is well known for the Newgrange in Ireland. Yeah. And the butterflies, love those. So let's see what Kyle has to say about Mother Earth. And here we go. It feels, feel loved and comforted. The message is, allow yourself to be cherished. Earth Mother Earth, is protecting you with a shield of love and light. Okay, we started with Fox, and that was about change, right? Trusting your talents in changing times, being adaptable, and when necessary, be that shapeshifter, pulling your energy in so you go unseen. Adaptable, survival. Fox know how to survive. Fox medicine. And then we had the Druid about holding that space, right? Holding your station, using your talents and your gifts. Knowing that you have everything that you need to go through this change, whatever it is. And now we get the Mother Earth card. And she's all about love, comfort, nurturing. So as we're going through this change, and change is uncomfortable because you're stretching, you have growing pains. Even though we're doing the best we can to have it as graceful as possible, it's still going to be uncomfortable. And I think what this card is telling us, the Mother Earth card, is that she's there for us, to nurture us, to love us. But more importantly is for us to remember that we're her children and that she loves us. Unconditionally, she loves us. For all that we do, sometimes we're like, what is that old saying, the terrible twos? Or is it threes? And that, you know, we do some pretty awful things to her. And she still allows us to be here. And on occasion, she does send us to our room. She never sends us to our room hungry, though. And that we always know that she loves us. And sometimes she has to let us know that I mean business. When I ask you to do something, to clean up your room, I mean it. You know, I mean, she does things to make us remember that we're supposed to be taking care of our home, which is her. I get a little water protector in me, I guess. Kyle goes on to say, as Mother Earth is the female counterpart of Father Sky. It's auspicious to receive the card because in the eyes and heart of Mother Earth, you are her child. And she is highly protective of her baby and will give you everything you need to grow and expand. Her energy represented by the symbol of the pagan triple goddess, Maiden Mother Crown, behind her can help you adapt as the changes of life come your way. I'll say that again. The Maiden Mother Crown behind her can help you adapt as the changes of life come your way. A lot of goddess energy. Yeah? A lot of female energy. It's about nurturing. And when we're going through a shift or a change, is to be kind to ourselves. Stop bullying yourself. You know, calling yourself those awful names. You know, our very closest friends, we would not be pleasant with someone if they were calling our good friends, our soul sisters, or our brothers and sisters of our hearts, if somebody was calling them stupid or calling them idiot, or they should know better than that. You know, those kinds of things. We would get defensive. We would tell them to knock it off. You know, we would defend our friend. Hopefully in a loving way, in a peaceful way. But we would let them know that stop it. Stop it. That's enough. So when we use that kind of language on ourselves, we have to stop it. And be kind to ourselves. Knowing that you're doing the very best that you can, given the situation, given all the things that you have to work with. You're doing the very best that you can. And there's a lot of people who love you. There's many more in spirit who do love you. And Grandmother Earth is right there with you the entire way. Yeah, got a little emotional on that one. Okay, so Kyle writes that you may not feel like a child, but in the eyes of the divine, you are a child of light. And it's important you know that you feel and that you feel loved. If you had challenges with your mother or with being a mother yourself, know that the energies of mother healing are with you to help clear any ancestral blockages and are preventing you from making the sacred love connection. You are being guided to make choices that are based on love. I like that card. I do. I have a thing about Grandmother Earth. Which reminds me, we're almost at the top of the hour, but let me say this, is that when I first started studying, we'll call it New Age stuff, that I know that's not a good term for it, but as a Native American, you know, there's certain things that, like drum circles, I explained that the other day. This is another one. I had never heard Mother Earth, the term. I'd grown up with the term Grandmother Earth, and the Potawatomi word for that is Kokmis Kikan. That means our Grandmother Earth. And even my mom, who's 99, right? She she says, I don't understand why the people you know call Grandmother Earth Mother Earth. Yes, she's our mother, but she's our grandmother. We came from her. The mother of the mother of the mother of the mother, our great grandmothers, the body came from the earth. And so she's our grandmother. And so I share that with you only because you'll see in much of my comments and my writing is Grandmother Earth. And so that is, I'm referring to Mother Earth, really. So just so you know. All right. Well, today was very interesting energy. And the energy for today, I believe, is about allowing, being adaptable for the change that's coming or that you're already in, and that you have everything that you need to survive, not just survive it, but thrive in it. And that the Druid, our ancestors, are right there to help us. All we have to do is ask. And that Grandmother Earth, she's supporting us every step of the way. So when you're feeling challenged by it, when you're feeling very uncomfortable with the changes that are occurring, is to call on your spiritual team and get grounded to Grandmother. Ground to her. You know, when I say that is to bring the kind of love that you have for her and send her the love and feel her love coming back to you. You can imagine being like a tree and sending your roots through your feet down into her body and grounding to her. So when you're feeling not quite yourself, is to ground to her and know that she loves you. Okay? All right. So with all that said, whatever resonated with you, what felt good to you, I say to hold on to, embrace, watch how today's energy unfolds for you or unfolded for you. Notice if you're a direct participant in that unfolding or if you're bearing witness to it. Either way, we're learning, right? And if it didn't resonate with you, that's okay. That's all right. Just let it lie. Wasn't for you. Or perhaps you're the messenger. Maybe you know somebody that would benefit from the information, enjoy the live stream, the conversation, and share the link with them. You know, that'd be very helpful. Yeah. Yeah. So enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll probably have to do another afternoon live stream. Yeah, we got some stuff going on in the morning, so I don't want to rush it. So we'll see you back here tomorrow for the card draw information live stream. So enjoy your time, and we'll see you. Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.